I once heard of a lost treasure of yore that I've spent a long time journeying to find, one that went by the acronym PU. This is the said journey to find said treasure. Okay, this is taking way too long. Let's speed this up. Oh. Well, it's time to start digging. I've been looking for this all my life. I finally found it. Let's break it open. Oh shit, it's just PlayStation Underground. I'm afraid I'm going to have to hit you with a depressing fact right off the bat, as the PlayStation Underground has been discontinued longer than I've been alive.
Oh, okay. Why have you done this to me?
What is the PlayStation Underground, you might be asking? While it might seem like a mining operation for all things PlayStation, it's actually something a bit more enriching, and less pneumopsychosis-inducing. The Underground was a magazine produced by PlayStation that ran from March 26, 1997 to sometime in early 2001. You may or may not have just noticed, but I just lied to you. When you think of magazines, you think of dead trees and words, but the Underground wasn't about that life. Instead of it being paper-based like every other magazine in existence, it was CD-based, and it came with demos, interviews, and other such things. It also gave you access to the sick PlayStation Underground website. The real physical paper magazine that ran at the time was the official U.S. PlayStation Magazine, and yes, that was its real name. Couldn't get any more explicit if you tried. White guy talking in front of a camera right now about PlayStation Underground? Yes, it's very on par with that. Nowadays, I think a lot of people assume that these right here were both the same thing, but no, these were two separate entities. That may seem like an innocuous fact, but get your pencil sharpeners ready because this will have a point eventually. Between the years of 1997 and 2001, 17 issues of the magazine were issued, and I happen to own a few of them. So let's dig up its grave and decide whether or not the idea of a CD-based magazine was ahead of its time or stupid. You know what they say, it's what's on the outside that really counts. So let's take a look at that packaging, shall we? And it is as sturdy can be. It feels substantial. A tri-fold construction that's like certain PS1 cases for games that had 2 discs, like Resident Evil 2. Each issue came with a different design that reminds us of the nightmare fuel that is 90s CGI. The basic structure here is 2 discs, one for videos and other behind the scenes stuff, and the second one is where the demos are at, and it's quite a hefty amount. Most issues have around 20 demos apiece, so I'd say it was worth the price, which was at the time $29.95 a year for 4 issues. On the left flap, what is that? It's an overview booklet for these round things, and I'm about to extend this video length by 5 seconds by saying that this is cool. They encapsulate all the things that you'll find within, what demos there are, cool happenings around the PlayStation community, and some reviews for recent games like this one. Crash 3 Warped isn't just a sequel, it's a brand new game. Aren't sequels brand new games? As well as plenty of ads for PlayStation merchandise like this Twisted Metal shirt or this Crash Bandicoot hat. Whoa. Now that we know what's what with these, let's explore. I have 7 different issues here, so how about we go through each one, shall we? First up is version 2.4. Sadly, I don't own a single one of the first volume, and Christmas is not what I need right now. It's August. First is we get behind the scenes for Crash Warped. Oh, how's it going, Mark Cerny? Nice haircut. A video on piracy where they give us information on, you guessed it, chicken sandwiches. We also have this lady talking about how bad piracy is, completely anonymously, which leads me to believe that this person doesn't actually work for the IDSA, which is an organization I don't think exists anymore because there's a website at the end, and we can go there to learn more, and yep, we have demos for games like A Bug's Life, now with a little Traveler's Tale watermark at the bottom, and Brave Fencer Musashi, where you can play from 3 different sections. Or how about Crash Warped yet again, with 1 water stage which is completely indicative of the entire game. Here in 3.1 we have a wrestling theme, which makes sense considering we have some behind the scenes for the game, WCW Thunder, and we have all the classic wrestlers you know. We have Bryan Adams, Booker T, racism, we have it all. In the video for Legend of Legaia, they drop this.
One innovative feature of this RPG is that it's among the first to have a completely 3D all-polygonal world.
By 1998, was that really true? I don't know, I didn't grow up with the PS1. To celebrate the third birthday of the PlayStation, as well as the release of Spyro 1, Sony brought press and other personalities to Las Vegas to participate in a scavenger hunt. And I gotta say, it looks like a fun time. On the demo side of things, there's Ridge Racer Type 4, Cool Borders 3, and Siphon Filter. I may have grown up with the PS2, but we did have a few PS1 games, which Siphon Filter was one of. So I have a certain nostalgia for this one in particular. So believe me when I say that this game is okay. Nothing too great, nothing outright horrible. The best part about this game is setting people on fire with a fucking taser. How powerful is that taser? Gosh. Just don't accidentally walk into them because, yeah, that would happen. By the end of this edition, all I had for notes was Hulk Hogan, Tommy Tallarico, and Siphon Filter. What a lineup. Extra, extra, time to be depressed about the death of something in the video game industry, as 3.2 is all about E3 1999. This is also the first time we get another terrifying reminder that this is the 90s. We get exclusive coverage of the next generation of PlayStation, and we also get the first instance of Phil Harrison, who is quite infamous for a multitude of reasons. It's an extensive overview of what's inside the PS2, so if you give a shit about what's inside this, there you go. We also get serenaded by Kaz Hira, who is famous for something to do with cars, I think. Red! Here we start to see less going into the presentation, as it's this theater menu for the rest of the issues. For the E3 coverage, we get to see some cool games that were featured. Do you remember when the Gran Turismo studio used to not just make Gran Turismo? Good times. I miss Dino Crisis. A PS1 player would say that, not me though. Never played Dino Crisis. I'm starting to realize the fact that the themes of the first disc never really carries over to the demo disc. And for some reason we have a video about the Tokyo Game Show. I don't know why it's on this disc instead of the other one, because that's where the videos usually are. And they also act like Japan is some otherworldly place. We have a demo for Ape Escape, and I recently bought it to fill out my PS1 collection. And after playing the first few worlds, I completely understand why it's heralded as a PS1 classic. And this demo shows why that is. It's just some unbridled, wacky platforming fun that is a bit jank at times, but that sort of adds to its charm. Other than that, there's a demo for Pro Skater 1 where you can play as the only two skaters that actually matter, and this also proves one thing to me, that I suck at Tony Hawk. This right here is cardboard. PlayStation Underground Volume 3, Issue 3. This one even has the registration card still in it. That's adorable. I can subscribe and save $5? How much is that in today's money? That's a fucking steal. I'll take 10. In all seriousness, this doesn't work anymore, shockingly, and I doubt this address even exists anymore.
Like seriously, it's gone. I made sure of it.
Also, we need to back up on the profanities there. My parents watch these. This one starts off weirdly. Like, where's the sound? Popping in disc 1, we have the behind the scenes for Jamie Lammy, which, if I saw this mascot randomly at night, I'm swinging. I don't give a shit. Next, there's Gran Turismo 2, where they discuss cars, who could have guessed? And finally, Ape Escape, where you get to learn how to use those two sticks. You also learn that they really love analog sticks, like, really love. Question, do you want to own the PlayStation truck? Well, fuck you, but Jason here got to ride in it. Why doesn't PlayStation do stuff like this anymore? I don't know about you, but I'd love to get in the back of the PlayStation candy van. Here's the Patent X Games section of the Underground, where they talk about Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I wonder why. The biggest takeaway from this is the fact that Tony Hawk unwinds with a bit of Oddworld.
Played Gran Turismo and Oddworld.
Can't relate. Here's the demos. A little bit of Crash Team Racing, a little bit of Spyro 2, and how about a help in sports games? So many sports games. 3.4 version. It's time for the new millennium, and even more information on something we already know everything about. Let's put in this one and learn some knowledge that we already know because we already lived through it. Christmas is here again. Too bad I'm not feeling really jolly this year. At this point, it's what you expect. Behind the scene for CTR and Spyro 2, I'm starting to get a bit tired of this purple dragon, orange, furry man. Although it is nice to know that someone on the Insomniac team definitely got brain damage in the creation of Spyro. Some video about the Tokyo Game Show again, and we can be sad together that we never got the game Lowrider Car Hopper in the States. Let's check out what demos this has to offer. Resident Evil with dinosaurs. This is actually the same demo that you can play in the Dino Crisis demo disc with Resident Evil 3. Tama 2. If you ever wanted to inspect a burning house as a pink-haired caveman, then this is the ultra-specific game just for you. 4.1. The second to last. That I own, not the issues. If you thought the last issue was sterile looking, then this ain't got nothing on that. It does look sleek, but a lot of the charm is starting to fade. That goes doubly so for the menus. Still using the same theater, are we? Well, let's look at what we have here. Wait a minute. Is that what I see? A new background after all. It's glorious, even though it's just the blimp? Okay, maybe it isn't, but hey, it's something different. We get to watch the team that made Siphon Filter 2 get attacked. You love to see it. And get to see them shoot each other with paintball guns. You get a lesson about how to create models using CGI. Who needs college for 3D modeling when you have the PlayStation Underground 4.1? Demos, honestly, I've come to realize that the most interesting stuff is on the first disc. While the old demos are cool, I can just buy these games or emulate them. The highlights here are Medieval 2 and Spider-Man. I don't know who the hell thought a vibration coming on every step was a good idea, and whoa there, Spider-Man. Having a little bit of the owl head syndrome, I see. Other than that, there's a few repeat demos like Hot Shots Golf 2 and Twisted Metal 4. Here we go, final issue I owned, 4.3. Holy shit, is that the guy from that show? Oh my god, is that Hideo Kojima? Holy crap, is that the PlayStation truck again? Great, is that yet more Tony Hawk? Sorry, I mean Grind Session? Whatever it is. What the fuck, is that the PlayStation 1? No, I mean the PlayStation 1. There's the blimp again. What? 6 whole demos, which is minuscule compared to the previous issues, and we have some true PS1 classics like Grind Session, Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX, and Crash Bash. And also there's a demo for yet more Spyro, fucking yeah, as well as videos for Parasite Eve 2 and Final Fantasy 9. You can sort of sense that the end was near, considering the lack of a lot of demos. So would you be surprised that version 4 is the last? You see, there was a time where the PlayStation Underground and the OUSPM, which is still too long even if you abbreviate it, ran concurrently in blissful harmony. But of course, all perfect things must come to an end, and what better time than early 2001 for hell to be raised? With the discontinuation of Underground, because did you really need both when OUSPM was also providing demo discs as well? Why would you need a CD-based magazine that gave you demos and interviews when you already had a paper magazine that provided you with a disc that had demos and interviews? Do you see where I'm coming from with this? Anybody could smell the redundancies from a mile away, so the two were eventually merged together. Despite the official U.S. PlayStation Magazine being the top dog in the relationship, they still used the Underground branding after the merger, so while it officially died out, it never really went away. And you could always go to the online website, which was something that OUSPM didn't have, and that's where all the focus went towards if you were interested in being part of the Underground. And there was something that could be learned from this lesson. A lesson on how not to graphic design a website. This is quite garish and invokes the feeling that's sort of like pens going into your eyeballs. But hey, if you actually know how to graphic design a website and you have a desire to make that come true, then you're in luck, because this video is sponsored by, this video actually isn't sponsored. Scared you, didn't I? Also, nice. And that leads us into a weird time in the Underground's life. With it no longer needing to exist in a physical form, they still needed to find a way to advertise it to people who don't know what the words Underground and PlayStation mean when put together. So here comes rolling in the jam packs. Is that 1/4 of the entirety of the PlayStation Underground jam packs released in the US? No, it's actually 6/21. They have quite a confusing release schedule, going by volumes for the first 3 issues, then switching to being released twice a year, one in the summer, then one in the winter. That went on until winter 2004, and then switched back to volumes for the remainder of its run. This isn't confusing at all. And added to the top of that pile, Sony, by the time issue winter 2002 rolled around, started to release 2 separate editions of each issue, one with mature games and one with teen-rated games. That way they can be sold in stores to minors. So even though I have 6 of the 21 that were released in the US, I technically don't even have all of them. Although the teen-rated versions were just made by omitting the mature games. They didn't even add more softer games to make up the difference, so I'm not really missing out on anything by just having the M's. Over my time collecting video games, I've picked up a few of these. They're usually just rotting on game store shelves for like $5 a pop. If I see them, I'm usually one to pick them up because they're such cool pieces of PlayStation's history. The data on these discs aren't preserved nearly as much as the completed games are. So why don't we take a look at the first one of these jam packs I own? I do dig the collage feeling all these covers have. It's like you're about to open up a treasure trove of experiences, just waiting to be had. So let's pop the first one in. Oh my god, they have screens. As you can see, there wasn't really much lost in the transition, including the Nightmare Fuel Lady and all her CGI-ness. We have quite the variety of demos, as we always do, some codes that we can inject into our memory cards to unlock things in games, like unlocking the panda suit in Onimusha. Oh, but how can we forget the code to unlock all the bikes and characters in ATV Off-Road Fury? It wouldn't be Jam Pack Winter 2001 without that. Of course we got the videos, which are usually the most interesting part of the package. Here we have one for Extermination, as well as Jack and Dexter, back in the day when you were actually allowed to go home if you worked at Naughty Dog. Oh, hey Mark Cerny. Clearly one of these games stood the test of time. The Extermination video has this interview with Tokuro Fujiwara, who once upon a time worked at Capcom and is responsible for the Ghost and Goblins series. Who could have guessed the man who made this sexy beast would go on to produce Extermination a few short decades later? It seems like this game is going to release and be the shit, but nowadays turns out it was just shit. This jam pack is the only one I own that just has videos in place of demos. Like it says demos on the box, but if you go to the vault to access where they should be, all it shows is the video, then spits you back to the menu. Weird considering it says it has demos on the box. I guess it lied to me, the bastards. Next year we have Winter 2002. I just realized I don't own a single summer edition of these, do I? You might think I'd give it a pass because it's my birth year, but it doesn't get to go scot-free, as I have some problems here, like the fact that we're in a sub that takes us to different parts of the ocean. Going to anywhere in this package takes so much time. It gives you so much that you can even reconsider where your life went wrong. I would have much preferred a snappy menu like Winter 2001. I get that you guys were proud of your fish models, but can we get a move on please? And it sucks extra if what you were going to has nothing that you actually care about. Like, yes, I do want to see all the peripherals that the PS2 has to offer, but not after sitting for 30 seconds. On this disc there's a code for I don't know what, but who cares about that when we can unlock everything in Britney's dance beats? This is what I really need in my life. I haven't even brought up the cool move section, where we can learn tips and tricks about unlocking stuff in games, like how to find the hidden pellet trail in Secret Maze in Pac-Man World 2. Let's give it a watch.
Hi, my name is Saul, and today I'm going to show you how to get some hidden power pellets and the hidden maze out of Bedoying Woods in Pac-Man World 2. Let me show you how it's done.
I'm so sorry for making fun of you, Sal. You probably don't even work at Sony anymore. Videos for 2 football games that I couldn't give a shit about, but we do get a look at the network adapter, and it's nice to know that fat was always in style. Oh, hey, and there's also a video for Ratchet & Clank, as well as a demo. Oh, hello, Mark Cerny, again. That and a demo for Sly Cooper are really the only things interesting here from a demo standpoint. If you aren't up for any of these, you could always waste your time in Primal. This is the life. Winter 2003. This is where we start to see a lot less effort going into these packages. Look how sterile this looks. They also started to skimp out on the extras as well. No extra codes and no cool moves. Sal must be devastated right now. All there is a video for the iToy, which was new around this time.
The current iToy camera is a great piece of hardware that we are really excited about getting into people's homes, because I think there'll be all kinds of new gaming experiences that come out of it, and this is just the first one we see happening.
Right, it's going to get way better than this, I bet. Other than that, there's not much to do other than play the demos. Here's one for Whiplash, a game I don't think anyone's ever heard about before. And don't be the guy in the comments that's like, I love Whiplash, what are you talking about? It's my favorite fucking game ever. Apparently it was part of the Weasel and Rabbit attached together platformer genre that was all the rage at no point in time. Maybe we dodged a bullet there because this game controls like ass. Fucking ass, I would go as far as to say. They're just way too delayed. It feels like it takes a century to get your character moving. Not to mention jumping and gliding by swinging your rabbit as fast as possible is clunky as well. That's just improbable. I'm just going to chalk this up to the fact that this is a demo, but I have no clue what's going on here. It just throws you in there without even a crumb of what's happening. All you have to go on is this demo video that they show you before letting you go wild, but they're really nothing more than just trailers. Who made this crap? Oh, you know the Weasel and the Rabbit from Whiplash are sitting right there with Gex and the dude from Legacy of Kain as characters that Crystal Dynamics has made. Other than that, we got games like Castlevania, Lamb Pit of Innocence, and Ratchet & Clank Going Commando. But other than that, XII? What the hell does that even mean? I wasn't going to talk about any jam packs I didn't own, but this one is the exception. Winter 2004. This one is special because it holds a demo for Beautiful Joe 2. Now that's not the special part about it. Legend has it that if you were to play this specific demo, it would delete all your save files on any memory card that was plugged in at the time. This caused quite the stink for obvious reasons, and Sony responded with the exact statement you'd expect from this situation. I feel Sony didn't properly acknowledge the severity of this. I am henceforth dubbing this the 2004 Holiday Demo Disc Disaster, and if you'd like to help all the people affected by this devastating tragedy, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Here's what I was talking about earlier. The last one we just looked at was Winter 2004, and suddenly we're back to using volumes again. Once more, no extras to speak of, and 2 videos for iToy, again, and a trailer for Final Fantasy XI Online. We can watch the story for Slide 2 and watch a trailer also? Whoa. What is there to say at this point? Football, 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 demo, demo, demo. Let's move on. Volume 12. God damn it, leave me alone. We have a demo for LEGO Star Wars, which is cool to see. A nice little walk down memory lane. You get a demo for God of War, where you can play up to the Hydra battle. I'm sure this blew people's minds back in the day, and the original still holds up well, even now. Other than that, you get the behind the scenes video, as well as a full commentary for the first level, which is really cool. Even though I'm pretty sure all of this was included in the final game, so what's the point? On to the second to last jam pack I have, Volume 13. Yet again, nothing more than demos, and the background is about as generic as it gets. We get a demo for Shadow of the Colossus, which is the E3 2005 version dated May 15, 2005. It's nice to get exact dates like this, so you can make your Shadow of the Colossus timeline video, which you know exists somewhere here. Don't worry, Slide 3 demo enjoyers, because we get a demo for Slide 3 here as well, where we can play a few different sections from the game. We actually have some pretty high profile games compared to the last few that really only had one or two games that I actually cared about. Jack X, Ratchet Deadlock, Soul Calibur 3, Genji Dawn of the Samurai, and Narnia. Kind of dropped off there, didn't we? If you care about having demos for some good games, then I'd say this one would be the one to get. Now let's finish this all off with the final jam pack ever released, Volume 15. This disc doesn't work. This was released at the end of 2006, and the official U.S. PlayStation Magazine's last issue was January 2007, taking the PlayStation Underground with it. But despite dying like 2 or 3 times, the Underground name still lives on nowadays. Although under my personal favorite word, a technicality, as the PlayStation YouTube channel still uses it for a series where they play games while talking to developers, nowhere near as extensive in terms of coverage, but it still keeps the behind the scenes offering of the jam packs and the issues that were released through the Underground's lifetime. It's sad to see all this go, just like everything else we hold dear, but things like demos and interviews can be found online today. There really isn't a reason to have demo discs anymore, as publishers can just throw them up onto console storefronts. Or they can just not offer a demo at all, so you have no clue what you're getting, with the feeling of being ripped off eventually if the game you get is shit. The American way, baby. Sure, there's convenience in this, but all of these can at some point be ripped off these places and will be gone to the ether. It's important that the stuff on these discs gets preserved as well, because these are just as important as the full games themselves. Developer interviews, incomplete demos, a time capsule of video game history, and sad to see them get lost to history, unless you can find them rotting somewhere.
Guys, now that this video's done, I found out where the real treasure was. It was in here all along. In my lungs. I have pneumoconiosis now.